Hello everyone. Last week I spent the week hiking in the Drakensberg through the Cobham Giants Cup area with a group of grade 10s. Now I've always believed that God doesn't hide God's self from us, but rather God has chosen to reveal himself to us, to show us who he is in a whole range of different creative ways. And one of those ways is through creation, through the things that God has made. There is nothing quite like mountain peaks and berg rivers and blue skies and wide open spaces and supermoons to restore our perspective and to remind us once again something of who God is. Psalm 19 says that the heavens declare the glory of God, that the skies proclaim the work of his hands, and day after day they pour forth speech, and night after night they display knowledge. And that even though they use no words, there is no place where their voice is not heard. Now, you may not be able to be in the mountains right now, but even as we begin to notice the changing of the seasons, the light that arrives a little earlier each morning, that stays a bit later each day, maybe you've noticed green buds and flowers, some of those promises of the summer that is to come, we can see God in the changing of the seasons right around us. Whether it's the sunset or a spring rain, God continues to show us something of who God is through creation. And that also includes the people that God has made. Now, I agree, it may be easier to marvel at the awesomeness of God that we see in a mighty lion or a delicate butterfly than it is to see God in the neighbor whose dog won't stop barking, or the driver who cuts in front of us in traffic. But we, as the people of God, are created in God's image. And we, as people created in God's image, all reflect our Creator. Imago Dei is the one way we refer to it. Imago Dei is the Latin translation of that phrase from the book of Genesis, where we are told that God made humans in God's image. The phrase doesn't mean that God is made in human form, but that rather we are made in the image of God and so able to reflect something of who God is just in our very being. The other phrase that comes to mind is Theotokos. Theotokos, usually this phrase is used to describe Mary, the mother of Jesus, as it means God-bearer, the one who bore God into the world. And there is some beautiful thinking and writing around our role as Theotokos, around our role as those who are also invited to be God-bearers, to bring Christ into the world. And as with Mary, this is an invitation. It's not an obligation. An invitation to be a part of the work that God is doing in this time and in this place. So as you consider all that God has made, may you hear the invitation to firstly reflect God where you are in the daily reality of your life. But then may you also hear the invitation to notice God in both nature and neighbor, in all of the things that God has made. And may you be blessed by what we can know of who God is in the things that God has made. Amen.